Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess, and we do these live streams every single weekday. So please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Everything's been a little bit crazy within the last 24 hours. We've seen some significant moves to the downside here. Bitcoin is down below $64,000 and Ethereum is down at 3,270. We were literally just watching it try and attack that $4,000 level, and now it's down at 3,200. What is going on? In the last 24 hours, Bitcoin is down almost 6%, and Ethereum is down over 8% there. In the last week, Ethereum has shed 18% of its value. Now, some altcoins are still managing to hold on. Solana is still up 16% within the last week, but overall within the last 24 hours, it's been a bloodbath. We've got Doge down almost 12%, SHIB down over 10%. The meme coins are even shedding value at this point. We've got Polkadot down or over 11% within the last 24 hours. It's been absolute carnage. So let's take a look at what's going on in the Bitcoin price here. So on the hourly chart, first of all, you can see as I said in yesterday's stream, if the levels of support aren't screaming and clear as day to you, they're probably not that strong. If we take a look at what's been happening here and we pull these across, you can actually see that we are building a level of support here, but it is going down and down and down. That is currently at around $63,000. Will this hold? As I said in yesterday's stream, I'm not feeling super positive when we're getting continued relatively slow movements to the downside. I know it doesn't seem slow because we've seen such a drop within the last 24 hours, but it's not a super sharp, drastic drop to the downside that gets met with accumulation like we saw back on the 5th of March. This is a slower continued move to the downside, and that's where I don't feel so positive. If we take a look so far, we were up trading at $73,700. We have got down as low as $62,980. So that means that we have shed 14.61% for the Bitcoin price. We all know that in a bull market, Bitcoin can drop 20, 30%, and that is normal and not outside of the typical price action. So that is still possible. So when we're seeing this price action, I am aware that we can get lower. I'm also looking at this and saying, you know what? Reasonable prices here. I do like to buy the dip whenever I can. If we take a look at the liquidation heat map, we can get a better idea of what's been happening here. So we do have some key liquidation levels above the Bitcoin price now, which could act like magnets. We do need to be aware of that, but also we need to be aware that a pullback in a bull market in the previous cycle would last 2 weeks or so. So we can expect that maybe we will see some consolidation at these levels. Maybe we do have a little bit more bearish momentum to go. We do see pullbacks last less time than that, but we need to be prepared that, look, it's not going to be just a dramatic fall, dramatic move back to the upside, and it's all over like it was a couple of weeks ago. These pullbacks do last a couple of weeks typically. And with the kind of slow movement, I say slow, this is crypto, I would class this as slow. This moves to the downside, a considerable drop, 15%. I am expecting that, yes, there is potential to go lower. And yes, there is potential to be holding these price points for about 2 weeks before we do, fingers crossed, carry on that bull market. If we take a look at what's been going on the month here, we might be able to get a better indication of if we have some really strong magnets. It seems we do have a magnet down at $50,000. If we go back to the Bitcoin price and we pull this out, if we were to drop to $50,000 from that all-time high that we just created, we'd be dropping about 30%. So that actually would not be out of the typical Bitcoin pullbacks that it has in a bull market. So we do need to be aware that that is possible. I wouldn't say that magnet is too strong, but it is there. If we move down to that price point, we will see a lot of traders get liquidated. And we all know Bitcoin likes to take the path of least pain. So it definitely is possible. But we'll have to see how the next couple of days play out. It is only Tuesday, so we need to be aware of that. We do have some levels of support that we can be watching out for. And this is where we are, thank God that we had a pullback back here, because we were creating a little bit of level of support here, and then we confirmed that level of support at $61,280 when we saw that pullback on the 5th of March. So this just shows, look, pullbacks are important because they create levels of support that we can count on in the future price action. And I'm sure we will be counting on levels of support that we built this time around at some point in the future as well. So it's brilliant to see that we are consolidating. Pullbacks are important and they are healthy for the Bitcoin price. When we just go full steam to the upside, then it should make us nervous because then we have no levels of support to rely on. And let's take a look at what's going on here. Jason Smith says, how far down do you think the retrace go? What is your call for the new bottom? Well, we are going to go through this today. We are approaching that Bitcoin halving as well, which typically is a bearish event for Bitcoin in the short term. So we'll go through all of that today and see what's really going on here. Good morning, PG. Good morning, Jason. Thank you very much for tuning in, as always. Let's take a look at what's going on the Fear and Greed Index, because hopefully this has come down here. I mean, it's gone up since yesterday. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. We're at 79 right now, still in extreme greed. So definitely worth keeping an eye on. What I want to be talking about here is the pre-halving danger zone. So typically over a halving, Bitcoin doesn't perform very well in the kind of like the month of the halving. Everybody looks at the Bitcoin halving as a really bullish event because we're basically seeing the inflation rate for Bitcoin be halved overnight. And that obviously impacts the supply and demand, and therefore is really bullish for Bitcoin in the long term. But in the short term, it's typically a bearish event. So when we had the halving in 2016, Bitcoin dropped 40%, and in 2020, it dropped 20%. So we do see this as a short-term bearish event before the bullish long-term effects come into play. So let's take a look through this article and see what this says. So historically, the price of Bitcoin has dipped in the weeks leading to its halving. Rect Capital said the price drops usually occur 14 to 28 days before the event. Bitcoin halving occurs every 4 years and reduces the amount of Bitcoin produced daily by slashing miners' block rewards by 50%. Depending on the Countdown website, the upcoming halving is scheduled between the 16th and 20th of April at block height 840,000. The event is expected to reduce Bitcoin's inflation rate from 1.69% to 0.84%, and the number of coins produced daily from 900 Bitcoin to around 450 Bitcoin. So with about the 16th and the 20th of April, we're looking at being in around 30 days. Now, as I've just said, we typically do see a dip between 14 and 28 days before the event. This seems to have come a little bit early. So the next halving is about 30 days away, and Bitcoin has already lost more than 8% of its all-time high recorded last week. We've dropped even further since this article was written yesterday. At the time of writing, data from Crypto Saving Expert showed the crypto asset had plunged 1% in the past 24 hours. We have now plunged significantly further. If we take a look at this from the all-time high, we have moved around 14.4% to the downside there. So I would say that this is the pre-halving kind of dump here. And this is what's making me believe that this could be a little bit more long-winded than we have seen within the last couple of weeks. So let's carry on through this. There are 5 pre-halving phases. So Rect Capital predicted the last Bitcoin rally while explaining the 5 phases of Bitcoin halving in a January tweet. So their analysts there have outlined the phases. We have the pre-halving period, the pre-halving rally, the pre-halving retrace, the reaccumulation, and the parabolic uptrend. So per the tweet, the market is in the pre-halving retrace period, following the pre-halving rally, which saw Bitcoin rise to 73.7K, while Bitcoin steps into the rally phase approximately 60 days before the halving. The retrace occurs 28 days before the event and lasts for weeks. Rect Capital believes any retrace during the pre-halving period is one of the final bargain buying opportunities for Bitcoin before the asset breaks out the reaccumulation phase into a time of accelerated growth. So this is what I'm seeing when I'm looking at the markets as well. My views are in line with what Rect Capital is saying here, in that when we see a pullback of this type, it typically does last a couple of weeks. We are now only 30 days away from that Bitcoin halving. Typically, we are going to see some continued bearish momentum throughout that period of time and over the days of the halving. So it may not be the most relaxing 30 days. It may, and like the next 30 days, we're not going to wake up and see our portfolios grow every single day like we have done for the last month. It's probably going to be tricky. There may be some really good buying opportunities, but this is an opportunity here. I believe this is an opportunity. We see this over and over again. The pre-halving dump historically has been an amazing time to buy. So fingers crossed that it's the same time this time around, and post-halving we see that nice pump to the upside. I know lots of people are saying this market has shifted to the left, and we are seeing everything be condensed and happen much faster than it typically does. We have seen an all-time high pre-halving, which is absolutely insane. So maybe this pre-halving retrace won't be as long as it typically is. But we'll have to wait and see about that, because we do have another 30 days before that halving. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Maybe we'll have this retrace and we'll start to already be bullish by the time the halving occurs. Who knows? But typically, if we were going off historic price action, this is a period of time where we will see bearish momentum for the next couple of weeks. It's not going to be a quick one if we're repeating what's happened historically, but it might be a really good opportunity as well. So we'll have to see how this one plays out. As I said, 20-30% pullbacks is what I really expect in a bull market. So $50,000 is really the lowest I'm expecting us to go. But this is crypto, this is Bitcoin, anything is possible. We also have to remember that we have a huge amount of liquidations at the $50,000 level. So if we were to touch that, a load of long positions would be liquidated and we will probably get pushed lower very, very quickly. Hopefully there's a lot of accumulation there to make a nice strong wick, and that could indicate the end of the pullback. But who knows what's going to happen here. That's just my predictions there. Let's see what's going on here. Christmas in March, says Justin. Oh, look at all these reduced prices for buying. There's a huge amount of prices. There's a huge amount of tokens here that have had a really nice pullback, and definitely tokens that I want to accumulate as well. So I am trying to look at this as a opportunity, and trying to buy the dip wherever I can. But it's hard when you're all in. It's hard when you're all in. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news here. We've got one analyst saying Bitcoin has not hit a top. It is consolidating at all-time highs. So Bitcoin's price action has yet to show signs of exhaustion as it consolidates at all-time highs in what appears to be a precursor for another positive breakout to higher levels. So 2024 will go down in history as the year Bitcoin's once highly dependable 4-year halving cycle was broken. The number one crypto broke the cycle by posting multiple all-time highs before its halving in April, which is entirely out of sync with previous cycles when new peaks were set 12 to 18 months after the event. The most recent peak value, 73.75K, was set on Thursday, the 14th of March, an entire month before its fourth halving. However, demand for spot Bitcoin ETFs suggests that this peak could soon be broken and 100K could be breached by the end of the year. That would be amazing to see. Now we are seeing Willy Woo is saying Bitcoin is simply consolidating at all-time highs. This is the veteran Bitcoin analyst. The price has yet to show signs of a top, he says, and is likely consolidating in preparation for another push higher. His theory is based on a Bitcoin long time frame risk signal he has been working on. The signal is saying enjoy the dip while this consolidation lasts, and that is exactly what I'm trying to do. Not expecting it to last forever. I'm trying to take advantage of this opportunity. Even if we go lower, I'm happy buying in at these prices at this point. He says it's not the top, it's simply all-time high consolidation. 65K is the Bitcoin support to watch here, according to this analyst. But right now, we are trading at 63K, so we have lost that level of support there. So we'll see how much lower we go. We have seen us use a level of support here before at $65,000. That's when we were looking at, but we have broken through that. Maybe we'll get a confirmation bounce of that. We'll have to see as the day goes on. But because it's Tuesday, I am expecting lower levels here, and I don't like to say it, but when I say I'm expecting lower levels, that does not mean I'm waiting for those lower levels to buy. When these types of dips happen, I'm dollar cost averaging in. And if we go lower, brilliant. If we don't, then I've taken advantage. That's my favorite strategy to do. It makes you less emotional when it comes to your portfolio, and being unemotional is very, very important for your gains. Let's take a look at what else is going on here, though, in the cryptocurrency news today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. I haven't even said that once in today's stream yet, so make sure to help us out and press that like button before we continue on here. We have some really good news to discuss today, so please make sure to stay tuned. Let's see what's going on here in the next news article. We've got TraderSense Bitcoin's price tumbling from 67K to $8,900 on BitMEX. So a rogue Bitcoin trader allegedly sold 400 Bitcoin on BitMEX's spot market, instantly causing a massive dip to sub $9,000. A curious event occurred last night on the Arthur Hayes founded BitMEX crypto exchange. According to Wu Blockchain, a user on the platform market sold 400 Bitcoin on the exchange's spot market, causing the price of Bitcoin to fall rapidly from $67K to $8,900 before regaining its footing. The 1 minute chart below further demonstrates the chaos due to the alleged sale by the trader. A similar analysis by the team at Blockchain Daily suggested that the trader had malicious intentions with the rapid sale. A rogue seller on BitMEX Bitcoin spot market rapidly sold over 400 Bitcoin, bringing the price down. BitMEX says it is investigating the unusual activity, and they have said this does not affect any of our derivative markets nor the index price for our popular XBT derivatives contracts. The trading platform is operating as normal and all funds are safe. Now, that's really important because if this is on the derivative contract market and exchange side of things, so this is the spot market, so someone's just selling it spot. But if this were to happen on the derivatives contracts, then you could see a lot of traders get liquidated, and that's obviously not what we want to be seeing here. Now, did a Bitcoin miner panic at Bitcoin, potentially losing the 65K support? At the time of writing, the team at BitMEX has yet to provide a precise explanation of the event. However, one theory is that the Bitcoin miner panicked after observing that Bitcoin was hours away from losing the all-important 65K support and entering bear territory towards 60K. The daily candle on the one-day Bitcoin USD chart below shows that selling pressure has intensified and the 65K support has now become a resistance level. Should the bearish environment persist, one likely path for Bitcoin is to dip to the 60K support before a slow climb back to 65K. Alternatively, 60K might fail to hold the support and Bitcoin starts to head towards the 50-day moving average close to 57K. A least likely scenario is Bitcoin reclaiming 65K and then proceeding back towards setting the all-time highs. So you can see the different alternative options here. Honestly, I don't want to be bearish because the markets are down, but when we see a pullback, it's typically more bearish than this. So I am preparing for all scenarios, as I said, dollar cost averaging in, and then we're happy with whatever happens. But let's carry on here and see what else is going on in the news. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let me pull up the live chat again because I've lost it. Here we go. So we have 495 people watching right now on YouTube and on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, head over to YouTube and give us a subscribe, give us a like, give us a comment, and help us in the YouTube algorithm. We need all the help we can get. Good morning, Greg. Thank you very much for tuning in, as always. So that's what's happening so far for Bitcoin. I mean, this crash, no concern. Imagine if you had a limit order on and it filled, though. That would be insane. So some traders chose to sell. Maybe it is a Bitcoin miner. Investigations are going on, but it looks like nobody was liquidated, so no concerns there. There have been scenarios before where the price has dramatically dropped on some exchanges and traders have been liquidated when they shouldn't have been. And it has had to be rectified by exchanges, but this has not happened here because they were selling on the spot markets, which makes it even more questionable. But let's take a look at what else is going on here in the cryptocurrency news. We've got one big story here that I want to discuss today, and this is about the meme coin. Let's see, where's this meme coin gone? Here we go. This is the one I want to discuss first. Amid investor craze, Solana meme coin founder accidentally burns $10 million in pre-sale tokens. So over the weekend, Solana-based meme coins pre-sale frenzy had generated $100 million. The developer of the Slav meme coin inadvertently burnt both the liquidity pool and the 500 million tokens designated for pre-sale participants in a botched launch today. The project had successfully raised over $10 million during its pre-sale, and then the developer accidentally burnt those tokens. So the project was one of the numerous Solana-based meme coins that had attracted millions from crypto enthusiasts through pre-sale initiatives. During this period, an unknown NFT artist raised over $30 million worth of Solana in the pre-sale of a meme coin called Small. Likewise, another NFT artist amassed over $10 million for their meme coin Nap. And then what's happened here is the developer sold their tokens. So we've seen pre-sales here when you invest in a token before it launches. Participation in a pre-sale doesn't guarantee token allocation. So the popularity of pre-sales surged notably following the unexpected success of the Book of Memecoin, which experienced a remarkable value increase of over $1,000. This is fully diluted market cap of approximately $1 billion. Despite the apparent success of pre-sale model, Ethereum expert described it as a bidding Ponzi's. But what's actually happened here is one meme coin developer has burnt the liquidity pool and the 500 million tokens designated for pre-sale participants in a meme coin that had raised $10 million. So all of those investors have been burnt. This is absolutely crazy to see. Imagine being an investor of that. Imagine being the developer of that, to just burn all of the tokens instantly and having no way to rectify it. Absolutely insane to read that story. It's been all over crypto Twitter within the last 24 hours. I'm sure you'll have heard of it. Let's take a look at what else is going on here in the cryptocurrency news. How long have we got left on this stream? We're 17 minutes in. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. What we've got here is base and optimism witness surges in transaction volume following the Denken upgrade. So the Denken upgrade is the recent upgrade we've seen to Ethereum. It lowers transaction fees on layer 2 solutions on the Ethereum network to as low as 1 cent, which is brilliant to see. And as a result of that, layer 2s like base and optimism have seen transaction volumes increase, with people choosing to transact on layer 2s rather than the underlying blockchain. The Denken upgrade was to improve scalability, but it has not lowered transaction fees on the Ethereum network, only on layer 2s built on top of Ethereum. So there is this distinct difference there. So that's why we're seeing some really nice transaction volumes on layer 2s being built. Base is the layer 2 that was built by Coinbase, the centralized exchange, and Optimism has been around for years now. But let's take a look at what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news. We have here Cardano's first fiat-backed stablecoin launches as USDM goes live. So finally, Cardano has its stablecoin after a very long delay. So USDM was initially scheduled to launch in early 2023. However, the banking crisis catalyzed by the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank threw a spanner in the timeline. That was absolute chaos, by the way. I'm sure a lot of you knew what happened to Silicon Valley Bank. It caused absolute chaos. USDC depegged. Craziness, because a lot of people, but because USDC has a huge amount of their backing in some of these banks that were losing huge amounts of value overnight, not only created chaos in the traditional banking system, but for stable coins as well, and actually caused Bitcoin to pump because people were looking for a safe haven. I was actually going on to that a little bit more. That was actually a really, it was a terrible event because a lot of banks were losing a huge amount of backing very, very quickly, and it was scary what was happening in the US. But it was the first time that we've seen Bitcoin really be used as a safe haven, as a hedge against inflation, as a hedge against the traditional banking system ever. And Bitcoin came out in the 2008 financial crisis, and we all know that it can be used as a safe haven. It has historically outperformed inflation and has been a brilliant way to store value in the long term. But we've never really seen it be used as a safe haven when the traditional systems have been presented some kind of fearful events, until that time when Silicon Valley Bank fell in 2023. So it was important for us to see that in the cryptocurrency space, and for Bitcoin to prove itself as that safe haven for many investors. Anyway, back to this article that was very sidetracked. USDM has launched on Cardano. It has now its own stablecoin, and we are seeing the Cardano community very, very happy. Let's see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news here, though. So Fidelity adds staking to Ethereum ETF application amid mixed reception. So the Ethereum ETF issuers have applied for these ETFs, and we have to wait until the 23rd of May before we hear a response. We were seeing analysts say there was a 50% chance that these ETFs were going live, but they have actually dropped that down to 35% because of the lack of activity between the SEC and the ETF issuers. If we go back to what happened with the Bitcoin ETFs, there were a lot of discussions between the Bitcoin ETF issuers and the SEC, the regulators in the US, to kind of get all of those filings in order ahead of the approval of those applications. But we've not seen that activity when it comes to Ethereum ETFs. We haven't really seen any meetings going on, any discussions going on between the Ethereum ETF issuers and the SEC. So we are kind of losing hope slightly that these ETFs will get across the line on the 23rd of May. But who knows? We've got to cross our fingers. It would be brilliant for the cryptocurrency space. And I do believe if an Ethereum ETF went live, we'd see a lot of other altcoins have their ETFs as well. But essentially what's been happening here is Fidelity is adding staking to the Ethereum ETF application amid mixed reception. I think that the mixed reception is off the back of the fact that this may make it even less likely for Ethereum ETFs to get approved this time around. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'd rather approval without staking than not approval with staking. But Fidelity have chosen to add this to their application. So we can see, I mean, I think an ETF with staking would be a huge opportunity here. Through the proposed amendment, the ETF could allocate a portion of its holdings for staking through designated staking providers, which may include affiliates of Fidelity. Staking involves participants locking up digital assets to support the network security and operations in return for rewards in the form of additional crypto. So in consideration for any staking activity in which the fund may engage, the fund would receive certain network rewards of their Ether tokens, which may be treated as income to the fund as compensation for services provided. So when you invest in a fund, you can either choose to invest in funds that are looking to grow the value of the portfolio by investing in stocks that are going to grow over time, or you can choose to invest in a fund that's going to pay you dividends, pay you an income, or you can have a mixture of both, obviously. But there's really two avenues you can go down when you're looking to invest in the traditional kind of market. And this is an opportunity for people to get that same dividend pay and income pay through investing into ETFs as well. So I think this would be brilliant for the cryptocurrency space and would be a really attractive tool to help money flow into the industry. But we need the SEC to let these get over the line. And I think adding complexities like this is making it less likely. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the chat here. Somebody says, nice, that was quite a drop today for Bitcoin. Everything will be all right. I believe so. I think this is an opportunity more than anything. If historic price action is anything we should go by, pre-halving prices are brilliant opportunities. Let's see what else is going on here in the crypto news. This is not an article from today. That was just something I was reading about. Record $13.2 billion year-to-date inflow into digital assets eclipses 2021 total. So we're seeing more money flow into the cryptocurrency space so far this year in January, February, March than we have done in the entire of 2021. So Bitcoin moves with nearly $2.9 billion inflowing into digital assets in landmark week. Last week, digital asset investment products experienced $2.9 billion net flow, making 2 consecutive weeks of record-breaking inflows, according to CoinShares' latest weekly report. So trading volumes totaled $43 billion for the week, the same as the prior week's records, and comprising a larger 47% of overall global Bitcoin volumes. And so furthermore, the spot Bitcoin, this is where we want to go to. The new annual net flow record of $13.2 billion exceeds the entire inflow for the 2021 bull run, which stood at $10.6 billion. So absolutely insane there. Let's carry on and see what's going on here. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. This article shows that Standard Chartered has chosen to increase its forecast of Bitcoin. Originally, we were looking at around $150,000 by the end of the year, but we are seeing we were originally saying that Standard Chartered expected Bitcoin to reach $100,000 by the end of the year and $200,000 by the end of next year. But now we're seeing that they're expecting $150,000 by the end of this year. So they have increased that by $50,000. I mean, a lot of us were bullish on the Bitcoin ETFs, and I was super bullish on the Bitcoin ETFs, but I still don't think I was bullish enough. It's been absolutely insane price action within the last couple of weeks. Standard Chartered also foresees Ethereum reaching heights of up to $8,000 in the US, and the SEC greenlights if the US SEC greenlights spot Ether ETF. That was difficult for me to get out, wasn't it? So we'll have to see how that plays out. I really do want to see the Ethereum ETFs go live, but I think it's looking unlikely here. Let's see what this final article is here. So Solana establishes new all-time high against Ethereum with robust decentralized exchange trading activity. So Solana's market cap has hit a record new high amid the blockchain community's Memecoin mania. Solana has surged to new all-time high of 0.05797 against Ethereum. So this is looking at the value of Solana versus Ethereum, like we always look at Ethereum Bitcoin here. This is Solana versus Bitcoin, and Solana has created a new all-time high in terms of its Ethereum value, which is it's interesting. We're also seeing the daily active addresses increase massively for Solana when compared to other blockchains like Ethereum, Near, Polygon, Aptos, Avalanche. So we are seeing Solana volumes increase massively. Solana has just gone against all odds, I believe. It's performing incredibly well. Let's take a look at what's going on with some charts before we close off today's stream. Rob says in the chat, hey Jess, hello Rob, how was your holidays? Very, very nice. I'm coming home today though, so trying to get the last of the sunshine after this live stream, and then I'll be on the plane home, which I always look forward to at the end of the holiday. It's nice to go home and be in the normal setup in the studio and have some good quality live streams again. But it's been nice and fun to be in the sunshine. Hello, Nick Me. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. On this chart, you can see Ethereum is falling drastically against Bitcoin, which is not what we like to see. If we take a look at the Ethereum price, it is dropping to the downside significantly. We are trading at $3,228. We were trading as high as $4,100. So we have seen a significant drop here, but it's looking nice. It just makes me want to buy more. But that's all we have time for in today's stream. As I said, I am traveling home today, so I need to get going. But thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I hope you have enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button. We will be back here tomorrow with another live stream in the usual studio, so make sure to tune in then. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.